This is our Task 4 video.
We're going to be talking about the inspiration that we get from real media.
So we're going to take stuff from the news, films and books.
And we're going to use them ideas and adapt them for our own opening sequence.
One part of the media that we got our inspiration from was the Madeleine McCann news story, as the theme of this is kidnapping, and that is the main theme in our opening sequence.
From looking at this news report, we found that they focus a lot on the parents and how they were feeling about the situation. And when the story was reported on TV, it focused a lot on them as they were always on TV. We also think that it focused on the time and how long it took before they could get back to normal, and that they were still sad after a long time. We thought we could then use this in our opening sequence, as we could show a news report at the beginning and then turn it into a quick flash of what happened on the night to their daughter.
Another part of the media which we got inspiration from was EastEnders, because recently there has been a police investigation and we wanted to focus some of our opening sequence on that.
So recently there was a case where Linda had to go to the police station to report her case of rape. And although this isn't that similar, they still did a massive report on what has happened in a lot of detail. They needed her phone as evidence, any pictures that could have possibly been there when anything happened. So although it's not the same, it could be similar in our opening sequence, because we could use a report on who took the girl that we're going to base it around and why they took her, maybe any pictures that were taken on anyone's phones that night or anything like that.
We also got some inspiration from the film Taken, because in the kidnapping scene it's very dramatic and panicky, so we wanted to mimic this in our opening sequence.
From this film, we had a close look at the scene where the girl gets taken when she's on holiday away from her dad. We thought that we could look at the camera angles and effects used to show her panic, because in that moment she blocks everything else out and just focuses on what she's going through at that moment. To show this, we thought we could maybe muffle out the sounds of what's going on around her so that it's focused on her, or use a voiceover to show what's going on in her head at that moment, to try and engage the audience to feel what she would feel in that moment of time.
We also wanted to include a book because it's a complete different part of the media, and as this book is a thriller, we wanted to get inspiration from that too.
The main reason why we wanted to focus on a book is because the main thing we can look at is the dialogue, which means that we're not always focusing on the shots, but maybe the words that are being used, because they can be highly effective. But even though in this book it is a complete different tragedy, it might be similar to how her parents could feel if they found out her daughter was never coming back, or if they found out that someone they knew might have killed their daughter. So it could make them react in completely different ways when they find out the end result of where their daughter has gone.
We looked at a lot of films for inspiration, as the opening sequence is the beginning of a film. We chose The Purge as we thought it shows a different perspective on a kidnapping situation.
We thought we'd take a look at this film as it has a different view on kidnapping. There's a moment where the rich family let in a man who needs help into their house, but this is seen as good kidnapping, as they're helping him rather than using him to get money. So we thought that we could use this in our story, as it could show that the girl's being taken to get away from drugs or to get away from an accident that might happen that night.
We looked at Insidious 2 mainly for their camera shots, and we particularly want to use the one that's on screen now.
We chose this film for two reasons. The main reason was to show how people were influenced by other things. For example, in Insidious, the boy is controlled by the spirits, which makes him do different things that he maybe doesn't want to do, as the girl in our opening sequence could under the influence of drugs. Another reason why we did this was because they had a recording in the film of when they were recording the boy as the spirit was taking over him. So we would like to include that in our opening sequence when we're doing the police report, because this could show that we are further recording inside the film.